The Renewal. Trust isn't permanent, it's renewed. OPSEC Minute, Extended, Episode 095. Welcome to our Stuttgart community messaging platform called the OPSEC Minute Extended. We use this space, in posted YouTube videos, to share both a little OPSEC, or Operation Security wisdom, along with an occasional Marvel team-up bridge that ties into other regulatory security disciplines and policies. Simply click the link and let our stories capture your imagination as they play in the background while you tackle your morning routine and backlog of email. Now, enjoy this week's secure narrative. Prologue. Monday morning. USAG Stuttgart, Patch Barracks, 0700 hours. The rain arrived before dawn. It wasn't a storm, just enough to leave the cobblestone streets of Patch Barracks glistening beneath the first hints of daylight. The German flag and the American flag stirred gently in the cool July breeze as commuters flowed through the installation gates with the familiar rhythm of another work week. Contractors, soldiers, Department of the Army civilians, host nation employees, family members dropping children at school before beginning another day of supporting one of the United States Army's most strategically important overseas communities. To most people, Monday looked exactly like every other Monday. It wasn't. Inside the headquarters of the Directorate of Plans, Training, Mobilization and Security, DPTMS, Ms. Marie Antoinette Springer, the local National Administrative Assistant with nearly 23 years of dedicated service to the U.S. Army in Europe, balanced a mug of coffee while opening her email. She had seen thousands of official messages over 2 decades. Routine updates, policy memorandums, training reminders, system outages. Most came and went without much fanfare. This one felt different. Its subject line was unusually direct. Implementation Guidance, Local National Screening Program, LNSP, 5-year Resubmission Policy Action. Required. Marie adjusted her reading glasses. "Well," she murmured softly in German-accented English, "this is going to be a busy week." Across the hallway, DPTMS Director Mr. Kyle Kouri was already reviewing the same memorandum. A former Army officer turned senior civilian leader, Kyle had built a reputation for steady leadership under pressure. He understood that policy changes rarely succeeded because they were merely published. They succeeded only when people understood them. He reached for the phone. "Marie." "Yes, sir?" "I think we're going to need everyone." She smiled knowingly. "I already thought you might say that." At nearly the same moment, across the installation, USAG Stuttgart Garrison Commander Colonel Edward Sanford stepped into the weekly command update alongside his deputy to the garrison commander, Mr. Robert Gwinner. Sanford set a thin briefing packet on the conference table. "Gentlemen, ladies, before we discuss construction projects or upcoming community events, we have something more foundational." Robert Gwinner nodded. "This affects nearly every organization represented here. It concerns trust." The first slide illuminated the screen. Local National Screening Program. Periodic 5-year resubmission. "Many of you are already familiar with the Local National Screening Program," Sanford began. "What has changed is not our commitment to protecting this installation. It's how we sustain that trust." Mr. Gwinner leaned forward. "For years, many leaders viewed background screening as something completed during onboarding. That mindset is changing. This isn't simply another administrative requirement. It's a leadership responsibility." Elsewhere on Patch Barracks, inside the USAG Stuttgart Security Office, Mr. Alonzo Edwards, Command Security Manager, carefully highlighted several passages inside the same guidance. He wasn't thinking about paperwork. He was thinking about people's careers and reputations. A knock interrupted his thoughts. Mr. James J.B. Brooks, USAG Stuttgart's OPSEC officer, entered carrying 2 coffees. "You've got that look," J.B. said. "The something big just landed on your desk look. So, how bad?" Alonzo slid the memorandum across the desk. JB read silently, then looked back up. This isn't just security. It's workforce readiness. It's leadership. Alonzo smiled. Now you're getting it. JB walked toward the office window. You know what's going to happen. Some people will assume this only affects someone else. Others won't realize supervisors have responsibilities. Some will wait until the last minute. Neither man spoke for several moments until Alonzo broke the silence. Trust is earned. JB finished the thought. And maintained. Act 1. The Notice and the Warning. The morning after the implementation guidance reached organizations across the installation, the neon green glow of a network diagnostic terminal reflected in Jess Neumann's eyes. At 29, Jess was widely considered one of the sharpest local national, LN, cybersecurity analysts at Panzerkaserne. She had the confidence that came with 7 years of flawless service and an uncanny ability to spot anomalies before they became crises. Jess, you see the email from DPTMS? Asked Marcus, a 34-year-old American contractor sitting at the adjacent terminal, nursing an oversized energy drink. Something about a new 5-year screening mandate for host nation staff. Jess didn't look up from her lines of code. Yeah, saw it. Just another administrative drill. I'll look at it after we finish this network migration. If my clearance was fine last year, it's fine now. Don't sleep on it, Marcus warned. The rumor mill says Alonzo Edwards over at Security is personally auditing the roster. They're tracking credential expiration dates like hawks. I've been here 7 years, Marcus. They know who I am, Jess replied with a quick, dismissive smile. She dragged the notification into a folder labeled Pending, where urgent tasks went to die. She had no time for paperwork. USAG Stuttgart was preparing for a massive joint agency exercise, and her team was responsible for securing the data conduits. However, Jess's dismissive attitude was about to be challenged. That afternoon, her supervisor, Stefan Richter, a 51-year-old program manager with more than 25 years supporting U.S. Army Europe, gathered the section. I know everyone is busy with the migration, Stefan began, projecting the implementation timeline onto the screen. But I want to make sure no one overlooks the new LNSP guidance. Our goal is simple. Complete every resubmission well before credentials are affected. Does this mean everyone is being investigated again? Marcus asked. Stefan shook his head. It means we're maintaining a trusted workforce through recurring screening. Think of it less as starting over, and more as renewing the confidence that already exists. After the meeting, Jess lingered. I've only been here 7 years. I honestly never thought about the original screening after I was hired. Stefan smiled. Most people don't, until now. Act 2. The Squeeze and the Realization. 3 weeks passed in a blur of late nights. The joint network migration was only 48 hours away. Inside the command security office, Alonzo Edwards reviewed a spreadsheet of non-compliant personnel. Beside him, JB leaned against the doorframe. We've got a handful of local nationals who haven't initiated their resubmissions, Alonzo said, tapping the screen. And the grace period ends tomorrow. JB took a slow sip of his coffee. Any critical nodes on that list? Alonzo pointed to a specific line. Jessica Neumann, lead analyst on the joint network migration. If her background check isn't resubmitted by 1700 tomorrow, her network access is automatically suspended. The system is uncompromising. Over at Panzerkaserne, the pressure was mounting. Jess was finally forced to open the portal when an automated warning flashed across her screen. LNSP 5-year resubmission, 24 hours to access suspension. A cold drop of sweat traced her spine. If she got locked out, the whole pipeline would stall, costing the garrison hundreds of thousands of dollars. She hurriedly uploaded her documents, hoping it would auto-clear. Instead, the status changed to Action, Pending, Awaiting Clarification. Panic set in. She looked over at Marcus. The temptation was immense. If I just use his CAC token for 10 minutes tomorrow, I can push the final scripts, she thought. Nobody will know. It was the kind of dangerous shortcut that bred insider threats. But Stefan's words echoed in her mind. Think of it as renewing the confidence that already exists. Instead of asking Marcus to compromise his credentials, Jess swallowed her pride, stood up, and walked directly into Stefan's office. Act 3. The Clarification. "Stefan, I have a problem," Jess admitted, explaining the looming suspension and the pending status on her portal. Stefan didn't panic. He picked up the phone and directly called the installation personnel security office. Within the hour, Jess found herself on a secure line with Michael Carter, a personnel security specialist. "Good afternoon, Ms. Neumann." Carter's voice was calm and professional. "We're conducting a routine follow-up regarding your 5-year resubmission. We simply need clarification regarding a financial anomaly flagged in the continuous evaluation system." Jess's stomach tightened. An anomaly. 2 months ago, there was a bank transfer from a foreign entity linked to an Eastern European tech firm. It wasn't listed on your initial disclosures. Jess gasped, suddenly remembering. That was an online freelance consulting job. A simple, unclassified code review project I did on the weekends. I didn't think I needed to report it since it wasn't my primary income. Under OPSEC guidelines, all foreign contacts, foreign travel, and outside financial investments must be self-reported immediately, Carter explained. Jess braced for the worst, expecting her access to be revoked permanently. "You're not in trouble, Jess," Carter continued, his tone softening. "I wish more people understood that personnel security isn't looking for perfect people. We're looking for complete information. The issue isn't that you did freelance work. The issue would be if you intentionally concealed it when asked." Jess exhaled a breath she felt she had been holding for 3 weeks. "So, how do we fix this?" "We update your file, document the disclosure, and clear the flag. Transparency is what maintains trust. Act 4. The Renewal." By Arrow 800 the next morning, Jess's credentials were fully validated. The red warning banner disappeared from her terminal. "You're good?" Marcus asked, looking over nervously. "I'm good," Jess smiled, typing in her own credentials. Together, they successfully pushed the joint network migration scripts. The exercise pipeline was secure. Later that week, Stefan gathered his team. The final statistics from the first implementation cycle had been published. Thousands of employees had successfully completed the new process. In nearly every case, early engagement and honest reporting had prevented larger problems. "I want to thank everyone," Stefan said, looking around the room. "This wasn't about checking a box. It was about protecting each other. We're trusted because we continue to earn that trust." As the meeting ended, Stefan stopped Jess. "You know, you almost let the pressure push you into a corner, but you made the right call bringing it to me." "I realized something," Jess replied. "If I had tried to bypass the system to get the job done, I wouldn't have solved the problem. I would have become the vulnerability, the moment of truth." Late Friday afternoon, Jess shut down her computer. Her inbox chimed one final time. Subject: LNSP Modernization, Phase 2 Implementation Planning. She opened the message. The first sentence read, "Building upon the successful implementation of recurring 5-year resubmissions, agencies will begin preparing for the next phase of enhanced digital personnel vetting integration." Jess leaned back and laughed. "So, we're just getting started." Outside, snow began falling over Stuttgart. Inside, the mission continued. Because trust isn't something established once. It's something renewed. Every day, every assignment, every decision, and every generation of those who serve. Epilogue. Trust renewed. AUSAG Stuttgart, 30 days later. As the sun rose above the rolling hills surrounding Stuttgart, another workday quietly began. To the casual observer, nothing had changed. Yet inside organizations across the garrison, the culture had shifted. Supervisors no longer viewed personnel security as a responsibility belonging solely to the security office. Employees had become more comfortable asking questions long before deadlines approached. The policy had never been about paperwork. It had been about preserving confidence. Jess Neumann stood near the installation flagpole, reflecting on her own growth. She had evolved from a confident but dismissive analyst into a professional who understood that security was not a destination reached on an employee's first day, but a commitment renewed throughout a career. As daylight faded over Stuttgart, thousands of people completed another successful day supporting the mission. No headlines had been written, no dramatic security incident or espionage arrest had occurred, and perhaps that was the greatest success of all. The strongest security programs are measured not by the emergencies they respond to, but by the risks they quietly prevent. Lesson learned. Security is a shared commitment. This story reminds us that modern personnel security is built on continuous trust, not one-time trust. The LNSP 5-year resubmission policy recognizes that careers, personal circumstances, and operational environments naturally change over time. Successful implementation depends on everyone. 1. Employees must stay informed, avoid complacency, and provide complete, accurate information, including reporting foreign financial contacts. 2. Supervisors play a critical role in guiding their teams and creating an environment where employees feel safe reporting issues before they become crises. 3. Security professionals are there to sustain trust, not to presume misconduct. Personnel security is not about catching people doing something wrong. It is about helping good people remain trusted professionals. Final OPSEC Minute Thoughts. Trust is earned through character. Trust is maintained through accountability. Trust is renewed through participation. Stay informed, stay engaged, stay trusted. Thank you for sharing a small part of your day with us. If you want to see or hear other tales from our OPSEC Minute Library of Extended Repository, feel free to check out our YouTube, Yashira Secure, Turat Narratives channel, subscribe, like, share, or simply click the link https://youtube.com/dwirus. Secure, narratives.sub confirmation, Sido. E1, dive in and experience a quality bit of security training with a plot twist.